Hello friends, Joe Weaver here. It is March 30th, 2015. It's been a while since I've done a video. And today I wanted to share some of the information about the last few months. It's been an incredibly transforming time. In so many ways, not only individually but for us collectively. And there was so much that's happened since the beginning of February that I found it difficult in order to be able to put everything into words. And even in this video and what I'm going to share with you right now is only probably a small portion of everything that's happened. Most of it, of course, is beyond our mental comprehension and so on. But the information that I wanted to share is, I feel it relates to a lot of us at this time, and the main reason is to share what I've experienced, and may it assist you in your own path and your own life experience. To know that you're not alone in the changes that you're going through, and we're not alone as a group or collective in what we're going through. So I'm going to start off at the beginning of February 2015, and which is pretty much about a couple months ago, because today is the end of March. And I felt the energetic intensity kick up at that time. And when we're going through these shifts, it's really hard for us necessarily to see the big picture. It's only afterwards that we're able to look back and really feel the changes that have taken place. And therefore, that we're able to comprehend what's happened and what took place. When we're in the mix of those changes, we're just basically going with the flow and making the adjustments individually that assists us through those transforming times. So, a while back, you'll find it on my YouTube channel. I talked about the opportunity of portals and the ancestral or the celestial calendar, and how when we move through these portal times, sort of like what was tied into the equinox and everything else, it's beforehand and also after these portals where it's setting us up for the opportunity and to make a change in vibration, to make a change in consciousness and our own life experience. So, looking back at the end of 2014, a lot of people were sharing information regarding, how important March of 2015 was going to be. I was picking up the same information. I knew it was a very important opportunity for us as a collective, not only individually but also collectively, for us to make a shift in vibration. And it's hard for us to conceive what that really means, but it's easier now that we've gone through it to start to integrate how and why we do these things, going through these portals and so on. So back in, and I'll go back to what I was saying about the beginning of February, when a lot of us started feeling the intensity, the energy intensifying. And really, in some ways, we've gone through many portals like this. It's just as we raise in vibration, we're able to access more expanded vibration, and therefore, it affects us in different ways. The intensity, in some ways, is also contraction. It's the pressure that we're feeling to release. And therefore, when we release, we raise in vibration, and we're more open to receive and or integrate. So I drew up this little diagram here of what I see now as the time period surrounding the equinox. And going back towards the beginning of February and so on, if you look at this diagram here, it's more like what I tried to describe here is this is a cone shaped here, cone shape that basically goes out into space. And this is another cone that goes out into space. If you were to look at this cone from the bottom or from the top down, it would look like this spiral. It's spiraling into, and it basically, as it accelerates, it also contracts. And that contraction is basically where we were at the beginning of, several months ago, and leading up to the portal of the equinox time. So as we are going into this space, that's where we're feeling that contraction, that those pressures bringing up the lower frequency energies, bringing up the patterns that we're holding on to, the perceptions, everything that's tied into us ancestrally, past lifetimes, collectively, and so on. It's coming to the surface for us to be transmuted into and released into, say, harmony and balance. As we do that, our individual and also collective light quotient raises in vibration as we release. And, the opportunity, as I described in that past video regarding the opportunity of portals, is we make the choice in these, when the words are shared, that, the collective of humanity has a choice to make in March of 2015. It's not a matter of mental choice. It's a matter of energetic choice. It's a matter of energetic vibrational choice. Through the choices we make in releasing and connecting with a broader, more, say, oneness view of reality, we're making a choice energetically. And so in order for us to make it through this portal, as we did, we've had to have raised in vibration. Our collective light quotient had to be at a certain range in order for us to make the choice to go through the portal, to raise in energetic vibration. So, the choice in itself is not a mental choice. It's a choice of vibration, as I said. So the pressure that we were feeling and that another round of releasing, we've been doing this for so many years, it's bringing up everything, every single thing that we're tied into, not only, to us, it's all according to what level of integration you're at individually, feeling the regional area for which you live, feeling the collective consciousness of the people, feeling the collective vibration of the planet in itself. And we are doing it through our own personal transformation. We're aligning and energetically assisting every single thing around us, not only the people around us, but also the earth, the regional energetics, and also the earth as a collective, like our collective self. So we, where we are right now, and what, from my point of view and from the information I've received and how I see it all, is, drop my pen, is basically just right on the other side of the portal. We just squeezed through, basically, from my view, and it was just about 5 or 6 days ago. It was after the equinox. The shift was there. We went through it. In many ways, I felt very, very fragmented. I felt very totally out of sorts, mentally, physically, everything. It was a very interesting and also challenging time. But leading up to that, about the middle of February, I was going about at my normal pace and my normal routines and my normal ways of looking at life. And that intensity of that energy started coming in and contracting. Basically, it took me about 2 weeks or so to start making some changes, through my daily routine with what I eat, paying close attention to my physical body, because at that time, after 2 or 3 weeks there, going into the end of February, my body started getting very acidic. I could feel that my body started breaking down. I started feeling really, really rough physically. My skin was going through changes, and it still is very sensitive right now. Physically, I'm still working through and recovering from these last few months. It's been, I would have to say, it was very challenging on all levels. Not only mentally, because as we're going through the contraction, it's almost like, every single pattern and every single thought from your multidimensionality that's tied into duality is coming, it's all in at the same time. And so I sort of felt like, at many times, it was like, like an engineer or an operator of a submarine, or you're basically just sitting in a cockpit of a ship, and you're just making changes, throughout the day, not just like at one time of the day in meditation. I'm talking about all day long, and also through the night. It's like you just, let me make this adjustment and see how that affects my feeling. How am I feeling? How does it affect my physical body? How does it affect me mentally? I was pulling levers, and I was basically making as many changes as possible, basically to adjust with the changes that were taking place, that I might be able to integrate these frequencies that are say, pressure, that are pressuring us to become more aligned in the present moment, become more aligned in our, say, our infinite, say, flow, our infinite presence of, say, harmony and balance. In many ways, I experienced it as more of surrendering than I ever have in this life. And I went through 2 or 3 levels of nothing but surrendering. After I made the changes physically, started eating differently, started drinking tons of extra water, eating and doing all these other things, I was deleting and dissolving mental patterns and views and all these different things. Mentally, I was going through all the levels and basically making adjustments, and I kept doing them. But then it gets to the point where I was asking the upstairs department on all levels for assistance and what changes to make so I can be more in harmony, balance with the changes that are taking place. There was nothing in some ways that the upstairs department could have done for me at that time that was aligned with my divine will, because the changes that were taking place that I needed to make were inner changes. And it was the actual, even though I did every single thing, physically I'm really good in shape. I was eating the most pure foods and everything else, and I was going through releasing stuff out of my ancestral heritage, my, all kinds of stuff. What it came down to, what made those biggest changes, was me surrendering to my own self and said, look, I've done all kinds of changes that I could possibly do. I surrender to my expanded cosmic self. I release the separation, and I am open and to the infinite flows of, my cosmic love and oneness. And basically, you know, I would repeat these affirmations, and I would just, whatever would come up in me, I just release, and basically surrendering, you know. And that is what made the biggest difference. And it wasn't just one time that I basically went through that over these last few months. It was several times. So after the equinox, which was, you know, about a week or so ago, my physical body was just totally, was still recovering. And then, you know, as we were going through the portal, it was, you know, I felt the shifting time that we were going through that. And in a way, I had to do another level of different types of surrender that I didn't do before. And I was like out of options. I didn't know what else to do. I felt, you know, I went through all the levels that I could possibly, you know, connect with. And I was like, okay, what universe, Mother Earth, you know, source, like what else is it for me to do to where I can feel more in balance, more like, because last couple months, you know, basically felt like shit, you know. It was a tremendously transforming time. And I was standing in front of this, it was a dogwood tree, and the dogwood tree was blooming. And I was just looking at it because it was, you know, so nice. It's springtime, and the smell of the flowers and everything, because of all this energy, everything is intensified. My smell, everything. So I was just observing the dogwood tree, and Mother Mary basically appeared in front of the dogwood tree, and, you know, she said, you know, you being born is not always an easy thing. You know, neither is dying in some ways. And, you know, we, through this portal that we just went through, is basically a birthing process. We just birthed into a new level of energetics. And again, everyone experienced these times in different ways. And, you know, when I'm talking about birthing, this doesn't necessarily like a rebirth like, you know, that's been talked about in religious things, everything else. This last round of stuff is more of a, like, the time before the portal was almost like and is very much so from what I've received from Mother Mary and the upstairs department. It's almost like a physical death, but you're still in physical body. And the birth on the other side is basically we're still in the same body, but just new energetics. And just as we are a baby born into the physical world as we've known, you know, it's not always easy being born into a new world. It's, you know, we got to learn how to communicate. We got to learn how to live in this new environment. It's just now today, you know, when asked the last couple of days, I'm feeling much more rooted and much more grounded. Every single day now, it's basically everything's balancing out. I'm able to say, not be so fragmented mentally, and being able to say, operate in a much more fluid way. That's the reason why I haven't done any videos or written very much, you know, for the last month and a half. It's because it's been so transformational, is the only word I know how to use. And so the biggest part about it is to know that, you know, we got different waves of this ascension process that we're going through. And not everybody's on the same level of vibration or change. I don't see any change in the coming years as far as, like, you know, the February, March. You know, next year we might experience another level of energetic upshift. We might need to use a lot of the tools and experiences that we've gone through to assist us in making more changes, inner changes that assist us in anchoring these expanded energetics. So that's the reason why I'm sharing my experience with you all, is that, keep in mind, you might go through the full list of all the experiences that you experienced in the past, and they won't work. It's a matter of staying open to making additional changes as time continues to evolve into more continuous time, more into the now moment. And it's a couple of the things that I was seeing. There was so much that's happened, like I said, in the last couple of months. I've actually forgotten most of it already. The things that I saw was that's sticking out to me now is, you have the atom on a molecular level of our body, and a cellular level. You have an atom, and there's two basically electrons or whatever that are circling around the atom. What I saw was there's another electron or something that was circling, and when that came online, became activated, the atom in itself turned golden. And that in itself is what we are beginning to now embody. Not only just this portion of the people on Earth, but eventually this will cycle through to everyone eventually in time. And everyone will have the opportunity, and not only that, be put through the changes through their own, say, I am presence, to energetically change. So even though we're talking about a very small percentage of the population that might have felt these initial changes here in this last month or so, again, it's a matter of waves. It's a matter of the percentage of the population, and then the other percentage eventually integrates it and moves through it. Another thing that was coming to me and is coming to me now to share is, we talked about several years ago the 144,000 on the planet that were, they're tied into the first wave of transformation on the planet. It's incredible to me, and I'm sensing now we're getting close to that 144,000, but we're actually, it's not all 144,000 are fully, say, in focused in vibration as the rest. And it's really incredible to me that it's less than, not all of the 144,000 are actually fully vibrating at that vibrational level of pure change. It's not a bad thing, but it's just incredible to me that small of a percentage of people on the planet is able to make that large of a change, because the energetics of the new Earth crystalline grid is basically tied into us. Everyone's tied into it. But as we went through that portal, basically it was it is what raised the vibration through the choices of the rest of the population also, but it's what assisted in the squeezing through this portal. And that contraction was basically like we were all sort of huddled in this big bubble of collective self, and we sort of squeezed through that daggone portal. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my explanation of these changes over the last couple months. And like I say, it's I'm still doing a lot of shifting myself. I'm having to, my physical body is still recuperating from everything that's taken place. I'm continuing to make different food choices, experimenting with new things, to help my body, and also continuing to clear and make adjustments. The other thing I wanted to share is, even though I've shared a lot of stuff, that I've gone through a lot of physical stuff in these last few months, and you might be thinking, well, he's, if it's coming across in your mind to send me energy, I would ask, instead of sending me energy, is to send that energy to your local region of earth that you live on. Send it to the earth itself, send it to the dirt, send it to the rocks, the minerals, the trees, the plants, the animals, and everybody and everything within those regional areas that you live within, including the air, above the trees, below the earth. Just send that energy that you're feeling out into your regional areas, because that's really what is going to assist everybody, including myself and everybody else that's in, that hears on earth this time. It's through that basically we are assisting each other energetically now. I've got plenty of energy flowing these days. It's actually a matter of tweaking it in a way to where I can still operate, and I've still got many changes to continue to make myself, as everything continues to move forward. Those are the main things that I wanted to share today. Is the mental mind. When I was looking up into this change that's taken place in the last couple of months, it was like a major, vortex spin of energy that was basically just above, me, and this, as I was looking up too, I was like, it was spinning in mental mind. Your mental mind just basically goes from 0 to 1,000 miles an hour. As it begins to be integrated, it's like, as I wrote in one of my energy updates on Facebook probably about a month or so ago, is to breathe. Remember to breathe and relax into the spin. Surrender into the spin of your own self. Because what was basically spinning and I was perceiving with my mental mind, and basically, my ego freaked out. I don't know how many times over this last month and a half, because it hasn't ventured into these waters before, and it's through that it's been written before, is align in that stillness, aligning in that stillness of the now moment. The mental mind can be doing 100,000 miles an hour. The physical body can be feeling all kinds of wild stuff going on. But it's within that stillness of that moment you're able to function in harmony and balance. You're able to integrate. And, as time moves on, if you find yourself in that situation, remember to breathe and relax and surrender into the spin. Because the spin in itself is only you. It's only us in a more expanded way. The same thing goes for us collectively. Basically, our collective ship that we're on is going through the same way. It's so all to my brothers and sisters on this collective ship of change here on Earth. Thank you for being you, and I am grateful and also very honored to be here during these changes. I thank Mother Earth and the universe and everyone again. So peace out, my friends. I will see you next time. Namaste.